Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to my quilt video. You may have seen my last video exactly a week ago today when I did an unboxing video of my ripstop by the roll contents. In case you missed that video, it was 5 ounce per square yard Apex Climate Shield insulation, 2.5 yards under the remnant category, so it was a little bit cheaper, of charcoal gray, 1.1 ounce per square yard ripstop nylon, and this was that taffeta nylon in a Moroccan blue. This was designed to be the interior of the quilt, as the 1.1 ounce per square yard charcoal was the exterior of the quilt, and also the foot box drawstring cord. So anyways, here's some of the leftovers. I can make beanies, gloves, whatever, what you not. Now here's my finished product. I'm getting a little bit better and better at these backpacking ultralight quilts that I've made. But if you're new, I just wanted to come over and start off with my other quilts. My first one I ever made was actually by hand. It was using down from thrift store items. And then when I finally had a sewing machine, I ran along the edges and kind of cleaned it up. But as you can see, it's very terribly made. This is small. First one was down. My second one was using Apex Climate Shield 2.5 ounce per square yard. This one is actually a rectangle and is a lot smaller because all these materials of this first one that I built was under the remnants category of ripstop by the roll, and it was 1.5 yards as opposed to 2 yards in length. So 2 yards in length. I kept the length of this with the hem. Now something that I did notice is that the Climate Shield Apex bunches up. I had some serious issues with the material bunching up. However, it doesn't matter because it will keep your feet warmer. Here's the drawstring cord. I built this one inside out, which is the correct way of doing so, and I'm very happy with the drawstring cord. I'm very disappointed with... Now, I took my time building this quilt, and you know, I will say it took about 3 hours. I'm a very new person on the sewing machine. There's so much that I have to learn, including that I put one of the zippers upside down, so the zipper is unfunctional, but the foot box does with the drawstring cord. It goes through there, and then you take a little line lock and cinch that up, and it becomes really nice. So as far as effectiveness, this quilt will keep you really warm. By the way, this blue is meant to be the interior. It's a nicer, it's really soft. It's very lightweight. Okay, so for those of you that are wondering, the finished product of this weighs 19 ounces. I keep it in a 1/2 ounce stuff sack that I made myself. So it's 19.5 ounces. Now I would say this could be about a 30 degree quilt, depending on how you use it. So I do the whole thing inside out with all these components lined in. In the future, I want to use little buckles so it can buckle around your sleep mat. Here I just, for the last minute, did some grosgrain ribbon, as it is on the other side. You could go with the drawstring cord around the front too, to cinch it around your neck. But, so anyways, this cost $57 for me to build this quilt. And it's only 3 materials. They're both similar length and width, 2 yards of each material. And technically, you can make this without even using scissors, other than to cut your thread. But I did do a whole taper, meaning the foot box is shorter than the top of it. And I don't really have the exact measurements for you, but it's really big enough for me. It's a nice quilt. So it was a learning process. I'm a little disappointed that I put one of the zippers on backward, but for $57, something like this, I mean, flawlessly constructed with the sewing work. By the way, there's no other lines throughout this whole thing. It's just the exterior. There's nothing holding insulation or baffling for, you know, down to fly around. And that's because when you do it inside out, you also sew the insulation material as well, the Climate Shield Apex. So it's that, in that way it's attached, but it's pretty easy to build. I recommend doing so. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this video talking about my quilts. My first one that I made was down. This is my third one that I've made, my most impressive. I am very disappointed on the zipper, and I learned later that my aunt, who's a quilter, told me that there's a function on the sewing machine that is meant for zippers, and I wish I would have known that and utilized it properly, as I meticulously felt with my fingers, because this is inside out that you have to do this. So I'm still learning. I do think this quilt could be used for a 3-season through hike as well, with a proper sleeping mat, and that's really the glory out of designing these things. Becomes so much fun. Like on the outside, this ripstop nylon calendared will be a little more DWR water resistant than this one, and less breathable, but they both are breathable. But this is the most comfortable option that I could find from ripstop by the roll. So the way I designed this was maybe to be utilized for under a tarp. It would be well, but obviously with a really nice sleeping mat underneath you, because that's one of the most important things. And then, like I said at the last minute, I put on these grosgrain tie outs, so you could technically clip this around your, take a carabiner clip and clip this around your mat if you were in a pinch, or you know, higher elevations or conditions really came in. So I think this can be used for a through hike. Getting better at making them. I still have to perfect what I'm doing, because these minor details are really, you know, they would shine if I were able to perfect it. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy hiking. Feel free to subscribe, comment, like, dislike. Here's my second quilt that I made, 2.5 ounce per square yard. I didn't do the inside out thing. This actually has Velcro to go up like that. And this is a different fabric called Argon 70 from DutchWearGear.com. And it's a little bit cheaper than the nylon taffeta. The cheapest of the materials is the regular ripstop nylon, by the way. But this material is really great as well. And I made the matching down scarf that I wish I did inside out. There's a little Tyvek touch, and there's 4 ounces of down within this scarf, and I've thought about connecting it somehow like this, so you could utilize the down and the insulation. But anyways, alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Happy hiking. Have a good day. Oh, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed my quilty video. Happy hiking.